whenever we have to check the automations, like you have to validate these fields are available or not, these all stuffs, they all come into the category called automation. Okay, some are available for a specific objects. Okay, so you have to go there and you can create. Some are you can create directly through the Salesforce setup. Okay, so today we will learn about the validation rules, and our scenario is whenever there is any student. Okay, our challenge is whenever we are creating any record, we have to check if each intermediate certificate available is true, each matriculation certificate available is true. These two fields are true, then we are allowing to create the data. If any one of them having unchecked, then the justification field should be mandatory. Okay, they have to put some justification why this field is why this field is unchecked. So they have to put some justification like document is lost or they didn't get the document from the office. They will put document or submit document within 2 years or 2 months or 1 month. Likewise, we need some justification so that we can track the student if we require document. Okay, now on the student record only, you will come at the bottom and you can see the validation rules. Okay, so this validation rule will validate the data, as this is on a student record, so it will validate the student record, and it is available whenever you are creating or updating the record. Okay, so I'll just open into new tab. For time being we have zero validation, we didn't create any, so now we are going to create our first validation. Okay, and I'll say validate certificates, and we'll say high school or the secondary school. Okay, okay, high school certificate and the secondary school certificate, very specific. And in description, if you want, you can put some values like this validation rule is to validate. We'll just copy the custom field. Okay, because this is very much admin and user specific, so we'll just copy and paste here validate, and other one, so that if you are working in big organizations, so there will be multiple fields available. Okay, so you never know which one is doing what. So if description is there, that's the best practice to understand why it is. It's like commenting the code. Okay, so this validation rule is to validate these two fields are checked or not, are checked. If not, then what it will do, we have to put some value in justification. If not, that other field is called the justification is mandatory. All right, so this is our use case as well. Fine, now we have to create the validation. So first thing first, if you'll observe this page, so you'll find error condition formula. Means you have to put the condition which will throw the error, and you have to display the error message. Means it's not going to, it will only pass if condition is passing the error conditions. Suppose, so in this case what can be happen, like we have these two field, these two check boxes unchecked. Okay, then after this justification is also unchecked, then we are throwing the error message. Okay, so this is the way. So this is my use case. I think that if I'll cover this test case, this validation rule will cover the use case. Here I have to check any one of this field is blank along with justification. Okay, so I'll just check. So what I take the or values. Okay, first I write down that what we need to do. So this is the validation. So it's checking for logic. If is blank, anyone is blank, and I will take the field is blank, and there's one more formula. And don't worry about the this formula. If you'll just click on the help on this section, you can read about all the formula. Okay, so this will saying get value, it will give you the date, distance, day, day of the date. Likewise, you can utilize all these formulas. Okay, so for time being I'll just take the is blank. Okay, so what I'll say, uh, even is blank is not going to work, this is just a checkbox. So I'll check is true or false, and I don't think there is something for true or false. Is null. No, nothing for true or false. Okay, let me check if something for false. No, so just saying is blank is changed, is clone. Okay, and yeah, so I'm checking this anyway. This is the checkbox, so I'll check if this is false. Okay, so I'll say note, this is again a formula. Okay, so you can check that one, page note, and if you read change false to true, true to false. Okay, so this is the only use case of this one. Now I'll check the other one. Okay, other field, that this is for intermediate. I'll take the another field, that is the matriculation. Okay, and I will check if justification is blank as well. So is blank is one formula. Okay, if not, you can't find, you can search the help on this help section, and you can read about all the functions, and you can check which one is best suited for your need. Okay, and here I'll put the justification. All right, so I'm just checking any one of them is blank. Okay, so still I think this is going to give me error, because suppose this one is not blank, this one is not blank, then our is blank is not mandatory, but in this case it's checking is blank. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to check these two are blank, then only I need to check if this is blank. Okay, so I will just modify a bit of my formula here. So outside it should be the end. Okay, and here I will take O. Here our O is ending. Fine, then I'm checking the is justification. Now I think this will work. I'll just check the syntax saying no error, and I'll say please provide justification when either or both intermediate, and the other one is the matriculation. Certificate is not available. Okay, and if you want, you can use the field. Okay, and it will display the message as that field, or you can use the top page. For time being I'll just take the field, and we can also check this one. Okay, fine, I'll just save it and hope I make it active. So this is active. I'll save it. Validation rule cannot contain alphanumeric. Okay, I'll save it. Fine, so now we have just created one validation rule. Okay, and whenever we are going to create the data, so we can see the impact of this. So suppose earlier we have created data without giving the justification and these all things because our validation rule was not there, and even if that was there, that was inactive, so that's not going to work. Now we'll create one new record and we'll see. So suppose I'll give the age like 30, education I'll say the doctor, I'll select some value for colleges, and I'll just try to save it. Let's see what's happening. So it's saying at this field there's error message. Please provide justification when either or both intermediate matriculation certificate is not available. Okay. Even if I'll just check one value, that is I'm just checking our edge cases. So both are blank. It's giving error message. Fine. Our validation passed. Now I'll check one and I'll keep it one blank and just try. Again, it's saying the same message. And if both are true, then let's see. It should not give error message. Yeah. So this didn't give in the error message. All right, so you have seen this is our validation rule is working as expected. Okay, so once you come to the setup part, okay, and in the quick find you have to search for the workflow. So you can see it's showing us workflow actions. So these are the options, and then we have the workflow rules. So just click on the workflow rule, and you can read that one later on. It's totally fine. Okay, now our use case is whenever we are creating the record, okay, and let's say we are uh, on the student record, okay, whenever this checkbox, you can say the is matriculation or the is intermediate is true, okay, we want to fire some you can say the, let's say by default we want to assign some values on the date field, okay, or let's say whenever we are putting the age on the field, okay, or we can take some other record instead of students only. So let me check what fields are available for colleges. The basic field, okay, address, no scholars, okay, number of departments, okay. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to update the address field on the colleges, okay. So calculating the address field on the college, I'm going to create some field like mm, or you say established year, okay. So based on year, so suppose colleges which are established 10 years back, we will assume they have department more than 20. So by default we will assign some values like number of departments 20 and number of scholars 100. That is the basic requirement for being the college 10 years old, okay. So this use case has given to us, and we don't want to write down the code for this one. We want to utilize some Salesforce out-of-box functionalities. Basic scenario, whenever established year is more than 20 years, we have to assign number of departments 100 automatically and number of scholars 100 automatically, okay, or number of scholars 200, let's say. So this is our basic requirement, so that at the time of data entry somebody is not putting these values, we will automatically consider this one, and later on in the future if we want we can update that one, okay. So we will come to the workflow rules, and as we know there are multiple ways, but I'll take the workflow because we have to update the field with some conditions, okay, and we will see what are other options available, okay. Now also one more things, they can update these values later on, means in the future if they think that okay they have departments more than 100 as understand, number of scholars more than 100 as understand, they can update the values manually. That's totally up to the admins, but for time being whenever we are creating the record we want to have these values like the number of departments 100, okay, and number of scholars 200 whenever this established year is more than 20 years. So suppose this is 2022, so I'll say 20 years like the 2000, okay. So of course even the 2002 will work. So more than 20 years, so it should be 2001, okay. Yeah, so whenever year is more than 20 years, we have to assume there should be data for number of departments 100 and number of scholars 200, okay. And these are editable field later on. Now we have talked about the formula field, okay. So formula field is like if you want to update some values, it will automatically take the formula field. So we want to see if age is uh, more than established year, it will take the established year, and it will check if it is more than 100, it will take put some value. It can be done by the formula field, but there is a challenge as we have to update these fields as well, but formula fields are not updatable, okay. It is auto generated, so it will auto calculate and assign the value. It will not allow you to update the value. So that's the challenge, we are not using the formula field, okay. So we have other options left, that is in the automation leads the workflow. So we are going by the workflow. I'll just simply create one workflow on the colleges, okay. So I'll just come here, continue with workflow. For time being, I'll just come back to another option why we are can consider that one. So I'll just select the college, click the next, give some rule like here I say college established your, you can say the your default values, fine. Our condition, whenever record is creating not updating, okay. So I'll just put in the description, if you want to read you can read this. When college records are creating, the data into scholar and department, scholars and departments should be updated automatically. We should be inserted by default if there is no value, okay. We are not going to let it blank, and this is only at the time of create, so I'll take the create, okay. This is the evaluation criteria, and here are the conditions. So either you can use the criteria, so you can simply say um, college established year operator, okay, and here you can include something like greater than equal contains greater than, you have to calculate some year and you can put something, or you can use the formula, and in our case formula is best suitable, correct. So we have the year and we will divide from current year and check both differences are more than 20 years, we are going to fire our workflow, okay. So what we'll do, we'll take the formula field that established here, this is number, then we will deduce from our current year, okay, and here we will take the current value. So this is year, okay, and date, it should be always today, so it will always return the today's date, okay. There is no option to return the today's year, so that's the challenge. So we insert today's date, it will take the year from that, and then after it will check if that is more than 20 years, okay. So I'll say more than, so in this case we are just checking 20 years. We don't have to follow the, this is just reverse to validation rule. There we have to put error conditions, here we have to put the passing conditions. Okay, all right, just check the syntax. So no error found, great. Going forward we'll just save and next. What we need to do, we have to update the fields. What fields? Number of scholars and number of departments. So add workflow actions, and here new field update. So I'll just say that is update college department. Okay, and field to update, just select the number of department. Okay, and just put whatever values you want. So in our case it is number of departments should be 100, so I'll just put the 100. 7 new, and this time we are going to update the number of scholars. Okay, so I'll just say now, just click on done. So here you can just verify this once and then we'll activate. So you see our condition is established year is greater than 20, then we are updating two fields, the department and scholars with the different values. For department it is 100 and the scholars 200. Okay, now you activate this one. Okay, now come to the college records and create one new college. Okay, and for time being I'll do one thing, I'll just select the values to select all. Now you have to put some college name, the university, let's say uh, okay, let's say I'll take the uh, SAP, or I'll say Lovely University. I think that is the team one, Lovely Professional University. Anyway, doesn't matter. Most important thing is we are validating the details and established here. So we will put first thing first, list will say that is established in some, we'll assume, we are not going to put the exact data, we'll assume that was established in the 1909. Okay, and these values I'm not putting anything. Okay, just save it and we'll validate. I think something is failing in our workflow. Okay, it is not able to replicate the established year and today's date. Now if you read the highlighted one, it's saying go with the flow. With flow builder, the feature of low code automation, you can do everything you do with workflow rules. Okay, and more, Salesforce plans to retire workflow rules and recommends building automation in Flow Builder. So what Sales? So this, all organizations are older one, and this Flow is the latest addition from the Salesforce. Is like 2 years, but from time started, they have used the workflow. Okay, now they have introduced the Flow. So what they are suggesting that new users, if they are going to create any workflow, they should opt for the flow because they want to retire the workflows. Okay, so of course they will take some time to retire because all the organizations are still using the workflow, but for us we are going to use the flow. We have just seen the how workflow is working, we know it. If you want to debug or do some stuff on the older organizations, you know that where you can debug the things. Okay, but going forward we will use the flow. Same way you are creating the workflow, we can search for the flow and you can see process automations. Under that there is the flows, and from there whatever activities, actions we are performing through flow workflow, we can do through the flows. Okay, and even more than that, we can do through flows.